Hello, welcome to Upnext, our regular Rovers Roundtable, taking stock after a couple of weeks or so off and building up to the business end of the season, which resumes with Batley Bulldogs here at home at Post Office Road on Saturday evening. It goes without saying, we hope you can join us for that. In the company today with Director of Rugby James Ford, Dane Chisholm, who's back at Rovers and loving life again, and Josh Hardcastle, who's been in the wars in a few different ways. Josh, great to see you. Let's start with you, first of all. Clearly nursing a bad knee injury, but far more severe than that. Since we last saw you, you've had a stroke. And it's brilliant to see you around the place. How are you, first of all?
Yeah, I'm alright, I'm on the mend. Expect to make a full recovery, just a bonus, so it's just one of them things now, just resting up for 3 months on doctor's orders. No training, no work, and just see how I am from that.
It's quite a shocking thing to happen to someone relatively young as well. What's been going through your mind kind of the last few weeks?
Yeah, it's a bit surreal really. It's not something you'd ever expect to happen to any lads or out like my age. Just out of nowhere, I was in Bath on a Tuesday afternoon, off work anyway with my knee, so just had a bit of a funny do in Bath, and then I last found me upstairs on the bathroom floor, so yeah, a bit scary in the first few hours till I got through to A&E. Ended up having a couple of scans and they kept me in I stayed in for 4 days. Then they found cause of it, so I've got a tear in an artery on my brain. So that's had a bit of a bleed on that, and that's what's caused it. So now I've got the cause. I'm hoping I'll continue my recovery and I'll hopefully be able to get out there again sometime.
So it was a stroke caused by a tear in an artery in your brain. Have they any idea how that happened?
Said it's like head trauma, so it could be from like a bit of whiplash or like that. So bang on head. It said it can be a bit of nothing really coming from out. So luckily I've not been playing for the last few weeks with my knee anyway. So I think it's stopped any more damage coming towards me. So probably been lucky now it's happened, and I've made a full recovery. But a lot of people a lot worse than me on that ward. So quite lucky really to look at it like that.
And what do you recall about when it happened? You were conscious throughout, right?
Yeah, just a weird feeling. I saw all my left arm had gone numb, and I'd felt really weak trying to get out of bath. And finally managed to get out. Felt like I'd been there about an hour, like a prune when I got out. And then I last found me up like bathroom floor, like hanging onto the door and stuff. And I didn't think too much of it. I thought I was a bit hungry. I'd only had a slice of toast that morning, so I told her to make some dinner. Had some dinner. I still didn't feel too cracking, and she'd come home from school run, and my face was still a bit drooped. And I did my arm test, and my arm was just flying down on its own. So that's when I started to get a bit worried and ended up going through to A&E.
It was lucky she was around.
Yeah. I could have been there a few hours if not. She'd have been probably happy for that. But no, she's been really good to be fair. I'm sick of her now, like I've had 2 weeks with her, so. But yeah, no, she's been golden with me.
It feels like your response to this has been really good, as I'm sure people who know you would have expected. Has it given you a bit of perspective though? Because it's a very serious thing.
I think
you went through.
Yeah, I've had a few negative thoughts about it, and think how when I first found out, I thought it could have been a lot worse. I've got 2 young kids at home. That really dawned on me when I was laid in the hospital bed. Thought that could have been it. Could have been game over. But looking at other people who are on ward with me as well, they're in a lot worse position than me. I'm still young, I'm surrounded by a lot of good people who've supported me through it straight away. So I think I've made a full recovery, and I know a lot of people don't make recoveries from strokes, and I've read a lot of stuff about it. So yeah, it's like one way I could be negative about it and think, oh, why has it happened to me? I just got to crack on, and hopefully I've got stuff to get back to. Hopefully I'll be back to a normal way of life in a couple of months. So it's a small price to pay, I think, for what's happened.
It's unfortunate in that respect, in terms of recovery, that your job, your income is playing a professional sport. So what have the experts said about that, about your hopes to get back to doing what you do?
I've had a bit of a mixed bag really. I got one consultant said 3 months I'd be alright, and I got told 6 months, 12 months. One said he'd recommend indefinite playing, so just have to wait until, as long as the scan goes alright in 3 months' time when I go back. I'm hoping that if my risk is no higher than anyone else of doing it, then I'm happy to come back and play.
And what's the response been like? I know the fans have sent you loads of messages, and your mates around this place have been there for you as well. And the game, as rugby league does, kind of rallies around its own when they go through some tough stuff.
Yeah, I think a few of my mates are sick of seeing it, to be fair. It's been shared well and on social media and stuff. I've had loads of messages and well wishes. I had some cards from, I think, Rovers Coffee Group, and a couple of kids at my daughter's school fetched me a card round. So yeah, it's been really nice. Quite touching, really. I'm normally called a bell end or stuff like that. So it's been nice to think that people actually care about me for a bit.
And we forget you did have another injury before all this as well. So how's that going, or is that just immaterial now?
Yeah, just a bit on back burner at the minute until I find out about my rehab, and I'm not meant to be doing too much strenuous activity at the minute, so I'm just giving it more rest. So I won't be doing any damage to it. So just fully rested up at the minute. Yeah.
Well, it's great to see you. Great to have you back here, Fordy and Dane as well. Listening to that, how's it made you feel?
Humbled, really. Obviously, he's taken his stride. Quite laid back about it, and I'm sure he'll do everything he possibly can to come back and play for Featherstone Rovers again.
It does give you perspective, mate, doesn't it? Hearing stuff like this, tough times, in a lot of ways, bring the best out of us, and these are the challenges that sometimes life does present.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's massively underrated how much Josh means to the club and the things that he's done in his time here. He's been a local Fev lad for a long time now and playing here at the top level, and the performance he puts in, week out, he's the type of guy that you always want out there on the field with you. Even to the point where when he didn't play with us in that Barrow game the other week, when things weren't exactly going our way, Longy made a massive point about, we've got a guy sitting there on the sideline that he'd do anything to be out there, be with us, and it sort of gave us that extra push that our mate wasn't there out with us, and it made us go out there and play better in that second half and win the game for Josh. So yeah, I think it's massively underrated what he's done at this club, and I'm just glad to see him all right and be able to hang out with his kids and his family all the time now.
We'll focus on the rugby and the huge game here on Saturday against Batley Bulldogs. But in terms of health updates and injuries, James, where are we? There's been quite a busy treatment room here recently.
Well,
what can you update us on?
I think every team in any sport at some point in the season is going to get tested in terms of the squad depth and quality throughout the squad, and I think we're going through that period right now. But we're confident in the staff, we're confident in the players' professionalism, and on the top of the hill there's some players ready to come back into the team, not too far away. Jonathan Ford working really well with his rehab on his shoulder. There's an outside chance that Jonathan will feature for us against Keighley, as long as everything goes well between now and then. Brad Day progressing really well with his injury. Bussy a little bit further behind that. And obviously Junior is fun. He's a couple of weeks down the line as well. So there's certainly going to be some teams in rugby league and in other sports that are in worse situations than us health-wise. We will have 18, 19, 20, 21 quality players available to take the field for Sean to select from against Batley. Featherstone standard players, and we want to go out there and put our best foot forward.
And how have you? You've been in the job now a few months. How are you easing in? How have you got a feel for this place?
Yeah, well, obviously I started here as a player, so I kind of have a feel for Featherstone and just how important it is to the rugby is to everybody in the town and everybody around the town. And I know that working for Featherstone brings a different degree of pressure to say working for York. We're expected to win, and we're expected to win well. And if we don't, there's some questions fired our way, and that's fine. How am I settling in? Okay, I feel like I've built a strong relationship with the coaching team. Working well to refine one or two things and help get the best out of our players, because I feel we've got a fantastic playing squad, and if we get the best out of them consistently, we give ourselves a real chance of achieving our objective. And
there's been the odd addition as well through all of that, not least this guy sat next to you. What kind of ventures he brought since his return? Dane. Well, I've coached against Dane, so I know the best version of Dane Chisholm is going to be an absolute boost to any team. He kicks the ball well. He's got a running game, and he's got a fantastic mentor in Sean Long to guide him in terms of how he wants him to play for Featherstone Rovers. Dane's approach to taking on that feedback from Sean's been outstanding, and I'm very confident we'll see a very good version of Dane Chisholm from now to the end of the season. How has it been for you coming back here, and did you think that an opportunity like that would arise again?
No, I didn't think the opportunity to ever come back again. So as soon as it did, I was so happy to even get the phone call. And as soon as it did, the first thing I wanted to do was just get in the car and drive straight over to Featherston. So I'm buzzing to be back. But just as 40 said, just been able to work with Longy and 40 and come back and try and sort of recapture a bit of my best footy. I feel like I haven't been playing my best footy for a while now, but it's all about me now learning what I can do for the team and how to be the best halfback for this team, not what I'm good at. And that's a lot of small conversations with Longy and 40. That's what it's sort of been the last 3-4 weeks now. And I feel like it's starting to get through to me now what I need to do to be better for the team. And I feel like this weekend's sort of the perfect opportunity against Batley to go out there and put it out in the field, because I've only played 70 minutes so far for the club. So still a lot of work to do, but I'm definitely up for the challenge.
Does it force you to raise your level as a player individually, knowing how strong a group there is here? Because if you don't raise your level, you're probably not getting in the team.
Yeah, definitely. You could easily fall behind, but the standards that they've set here are so high. It's one of them things you just want to go and chase those standards with them. Everyone's training that hard here. Like, you don't want to get left behind, and I've loved the challenge to come here and try and better myself every day, and that's all I've been doing, just trying to get fitter, trying to get stronger, and trying to learn how to play in the Featherston system. And I feel like that's all I can do until it all clicks for me. So I'm just going to keep working hard until it all gels.
And does it feel different walking back into this place, a place you know well, a place you've been before, still banging at the door to try and get into Super League, coming back into this environment as it is now and the strength of the squad? Do you notice a difference?
Yeah, to be honest, it's a lot calmer. Right. I think 40 and Longy, they do a real good job at keeping all the outside noise away from us. You know what I mean? Like, we rock up here, we're just training, we worry about footy, we worry about getting better every day. There's no talk about Super League or all the pressure outside. It's a real nice, calm place to come to, and I think that's the best environment to learn and to get better. So, honestly, it's a real good place to be right now, and there's a real good feel around the squad. So, yeah, I couldn't be happier.
James, you smiled at that remark.
I'm just a happy guy.
It's true though, it's true, it's good.
Right, calm at the moment. Yeah, I reckon you've got an uncalm side to you.
Yeah, you have to speak to a couple of the players I coached in my early times.
Where are we then? We'll look ahead to Batley in just a sec. We've got, what, eight games to go, regular season. Hopefully
Yep.
We'll go beyond that. 3 of them behind us here, and the other 5 on the road. Big leads, which will count for nothing, as we know, ultimately. But where are Rovers at the moment in terms of where we want to be right now?
Well, obviously we're in a commanding position in the league, but the winning the league isn't our number one objective. I know our number one objective is to get in Super League. So winning the league and failing to it, our standards in the playoffs will be deemed as a failure. So between now and the end of the season, we want to see the team continually improve. Small areas each week and hit our straps. So performance-wise, cohesion-wise, health-wise, come the playoffs. And the supporters are key to that as well. I have coached against Featherston and used that kind of the pressure that this club can be under. I tried to use it against them, not to any great avail, but I won't be the only person who will be trying to use that strategy. So we need everybody in and around the town, everybody who loves Featherston Rovers, jump on board and get behind us, because it can only help. It's
something Mark Carella says quite a lot, how he wanted to sign for Featherstone just so he didn't have to come here anymore as an opposing player, just because of all the friendly advice he used to get when he was lining up kicks on the touchline.
Did Mark get friendly advice? I put mine in the not so friendly.
I remember round 1 this season, I copped a fair bit behind the sticks at Keighley, so it's good to be back on this side.
Do you remember the faces for when you come back?
Nah, let it go. There's all big blue blur. Yeah.
Let's talk about Batley then, just finally. Huge game, really big game here this Saturday. There will be memories, Josh, won't there, of the heartbreaking way last season.
Yeah, last year's failures,
Batley, well, you called it failure, I suppose you're right, the defeat in the semis. What do you remember of that? And how it felt, I guess, that's what you remember, isn't it? How it felt.
It's a really bad day for the club. Obviously, Batley are a good team, they always have been. They always play well above the weight. But I think we didn't turn up that day. I think there's still a bit of taste in people's mouths from that last year. I know, I think Lockie won't mind me saying, but Lockie were hoping for us to have a good dig last year, try and get up, and he was going to retire as a old man, and he's had to go around again to try and follow his dream. So yeah, there's a few lads who obviously were here last year who still know how bad it was and how bad of a feeling were in change rooms after that game. It's not something we want to repeat again ever. So.
And they're showing signs of being quite a formidable side again this year, albeit Rovers went to Mount Pleasant and won, but they looked pretty sharp, didn't they, James, on Sunday in reaching Wembley in the 1895 Cup semi, winning at York.
Yeah, Batley are a good team. You know, they made the final last year. Obviously, we know that they made the semi-final the year before. They've consistently competed at the top end of the championship for a while. And listen, we're expecting a very good team to come here on Saturday. It's first versus third. You know, it shouldn't. That's how it should be. You know, first versus third should be a belting game. It should be two great sides going after one another, and that's what we're preparing for. And that's why I feel, you know, the supporters and everybody in and around the town can be so key to helping us get the job done. As
a half-back, how do you go about beating Batley and plotting their downfall when you come up against the Bulldogs?
Batley are a team that just they all know their roles and they do them really well, and they won't turn much ball over. So things like high completions, finishing in corners, and really taking opportunities when they're presented. That's going to be key to winning this game on the weekend, man. But you know, it's going to be a Saturday night game here, which is going to be massive. The atmosphere should be pumping. Saturday night, everyone should be fairly full of ale down here in the Featherstone Rovers grandstand. So it should be good, man. Yeah, hopefully high completions, take opportunities, and hopefully we'll get this one on Saturday.
I can feel you've got your game head on already.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait for this one.
Final word from you two guys ahead of this one. How key is it to keep this momentum going forward? I think it's five wins on the spin since the Toulouse setback here. How important is it to keep that run going right to the playoffs now?
I think we need to increase our momentum. I don't think we want to keep it going. I think we want to really go after some improvements. Individually, collectively, put our best foot forward every single week until we go into the playoffs, and then improve again. Because there's one option, isn't it? We've got to get the job done. That's it.
Final word, maybe from you, Josh. Any fans watching this thinking, well, what should we do Saturday night? They're thinking of coming down here.
I want to know what he's going to say now.
No, just get down. I think it'll be a great night. Obviously, everyone can have a few beers for me because I'm off ale for 3 months. So yeah, I think lads will really appreciate a good atmosphere. We always do when it's down here. I think everyone more the merrier for me, and hopefully don't get a repeat of what happened last year.
Do you sense that just finally when you're out there, when there is a good crowd and a good noise and a good feel around it?
Yeah.
Do you feel that when you're out on the pitch?
Yeah, when you start warming up and you know there's a fair few already future turnstiles, like when we played Toronto games like that. We used to play at OKR when they were down in this league. All big games when you expect a big crowd, you can really feel it. Yeah, and I think lads normally respond to it.
Really good to see you, gentlemen. Josh, great to see you, and best of luck and continued in your rehabilitation. We'll see you all on Saturday. We hope to see you here as well. Saturday Night Lights. It's a 6 o'clock kick-off. Tickets available at the ticket office or online. We hope to see you there. Thanks to the guys, and we'll see you this weekend.